So, the Son and Kane show does indeed roll on. I feel like we're almost at that point where the first act is ending. We're feeling stuff through, the team is getting better, they're playing well together, and I think I would second Mourinho in some ways in saying that going forward, we might be the best looking team in the league. Now, that is big praise when you have teams like Liverpool, like Man City, like Everton. That sounds crazy. But those first two in Manchester City and Liverpool are sort of floundering a little bit. I know Liverpool is second in the league right now. They're doing well. But considering where they've been over the last 2.5 years, they're not really up to speed. When you look at Man City right now, it's not really working for them. Something is off. And with Aguero out for City and Van Dijk out for Liverpool, I think the league is completely open this year. And if Spurs don't win it, Spurs don't win it. But this could be a great year for some random team to pop up and be like, hey boys, we ended on 87 points, we won the league. What? What the fuck? Hey, NarendraTheComic here. Right now we're just going to be going over the Spurs match versus Burnley. It definitely wasn't a very pretty match, to be frank, alright? It might be the worst looking football we've played since that Everton game at the beginning of the season, which was abhorrent, and which turned out to be one of the worst games from Spurs I've seen in half a decade. This game, sort of similar, but we were in control of the game for longer than with the Everton game. With the Everton game, we never really got off the back foot. Everton kept on putting pressure. They didn't look incredible, but they definitely looked markedly better than us on the day. Burnley this time decided to play very different how most teams have played against us this year. Burnley sat back for certain periods, but then they really pressed at other times, and I think it caused this issue with not being able to break down their lines well enough in the first half, and even in the second half. We didn't really have many opportunities throughout the entire game, and I do feel that Burnley may have had more chances off target and on target than we did over the 90 minutes. But at the end of the day, Son and Kane do the job, get it done. Now apparently they are the tied second most for goals and assists to each other in the Premier League era. They have provided 29 assists for each other while they've been together, and apparently the only pair that has more goals and assists paired up together is Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba, which is insane. They're quite a bit ahead on 35, but I feel from the way Spurs are playing, from the way these two are playing, that could be got this season. This is a real partnership that's flourished over the past 3 years, I would say. And whereas last year Kane was out of the team for a while, and the season before, and Son had to take that centre striker role, and he was playing really well on his own. And then when Kane came back into the team, it sort of felt like Son was a bit out of place. He found his correct position, I feel, on the left wing. But when Kane and him were playing together, in part last season, something was slightly off, I feel. And the season before, Son was playing better when he was on his own up front, and Kane was playing better when he was on his own up front. This year, I don't know how Mourinho has done this in this specific way. He has made a system which allows Kane to drop deep without facing consequences and pushing the balls further up the pitch so that Son can run onto them. And he has the pace to make any team in the Premier League pay for any small mistake. He had one chance in this game, really, other than the goal, and he almost put it away. To be fair, Burnley played really well during this game. There were massive chunks and periods where they were in control. You know that they're going to sit in at times. You know they're going to press at times. You know what they're going to do. And I think Mourinho set it up correctly by saying, this isn't going to be a 5-1, a 6-2. This is going to be a 1-0 if we're lucky. It's going to be a 0-0 if we're unlucky. And it's going to be a 1-0 loss if we're really unlucky. And the 1-0 loss almost happened. It may have only been like a minute before Son's goal at the other end of the pitch, where Burnley almost scored with a very good chance. And it was only because of Kane coming back onto the line and clearing off the line with a header that we didn't go 1-0 down at that point. And from there, we won the game, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't nice to look at. But you're not always going to get those 5-1, 6-1, 7-2 results. You look at West Ham 3-0. I was worried at 1-0 not as much so as against West Ham, because when West Ham got that first goal, I said, this is done. We're going to crumble here. This time round, I thought, I don't like it, but they seem more stable. I think the team solidified a bit more, and Mourinho made the right decision. He made the right decision by not altering things when things were going right for Spurs and when things were going wrong for Burnley. If you watch the game, Mourinho actually looked like he was going to bring on Carlos Vinicius. He looked like he might have brought on a number of other players at about the 60 to 75 to 80 minute mark. But he staved off because he saw what happened in the West Ham game. He rocked the boat, he changed it up, and it caused the result it did. If that team had stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes against West Ham, we would have had those 3 points. 100% guaranteed. I know we would have those 3 points. But not everyone can play all the time. People need to come off, so I understand that. But I do feel in that instance, he learned from it and he said, no, we're not changing it until the very last minute. Thankfully, this time round, it did actually work. Also, some notable mentions. Ndombele, Tanguy, playing well. I think he is that type of guy who doesn't train that well, who isn't incredibly fit, but he gets his source of fitness from the matches. He needs matches to get match fit. It's a very weird thing. It doesn't work with most people. Most people don't get that time allowance. But for him, if that's how he stays fit, then he starts. Gio is now not in the team. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But if you're going to play Hjulberg, or however you say Pierre-Emerick Hjulberg's name, you're going to play him and you're going to play Ndombele, I don't think you can really risk having Lo Celso on the pitch. You have to go with a Sissoko. You have to go with a Winks. I'm not sure he can play with those other two in that moment. I think Sissoko played relatively well. He got a lot of interceptions in. Dyer and Alderweireld played pretty well as a centre-back pair. Normally, it doesn't work out, but today it seemed like there was something positive to the way they were playing together. Not a lot of problems throughout the whole game. Right back, though, Doherty. I don't know if Doherty is struggling with Aurier actually playing well, but Doherty just doesn't look like he's putting in a shift for some reason. Something isn't right. Because Aurier comes on the pitch and he looks good. He looks like he's threatening going up. He looks like he's got better defensively. Whereas I look at Doherty over the past couple of weeks and I say, Doherty, what's going on, Matt? Tell me what's wrong. What's going on? Because something isn't jiving right now. And I don't know what it is. I'm not Irish. I don't know these things. Maybe he needs some more potatoes. Maybe he needs some more other things, if you know what I'm talking about. Some Guinness, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. Some whiskey, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not encouraging that. But I'm saying something just isn't jiving right. Something is not working right with Matt Doherty on the right. And I think it's because generally when he plays, when he was at Wolves, he was more of a right wing back than a right back. Whereas now he's more so playing as a right back who has liberty to go up front, as opposed to being a right wing back with a centre back 3 pairing. So he needs to work around that because I think he is a good player. I think he can do a lot of good down the right hand side. But if Serge is going to be playing well, then for me, Serge is starting. Lucas as well, put in a shift. I just think his end product just isn't there. It's just not... It's not consistent. I don't know if Bale is going to be the guy who's going to score 20 goals. I think it would be a shame if he doesn't score at least 10. But if Bergwijn can pop in with 5 or 6, Eric Lamela, I mean, peace be above, everything go well. He gets 3 or 4 goals as well, you never know. And Son and Kane, if they get 20 goals each plus, 30 goals each plus, you never know. This could be a very, very, very good season. Anyway, guys... If you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, then Sean Dyche himself will come after you, eating the nails, eating the glass. Sean Dyche is Burnley. You know, they're just class. Bars. Sean Dyche will come after you. You don't want that. You really don't. So just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been NarendraTheComic. You've been great. I'll see you next time. That's tomorrow. If you don't know, make a video every single day. You've been doing it every day for over 2 years now. We ain't stopping till we get to 10,000 subscribers. So do subscribe. Pop back again tomorrow for some more quality shitty content because hashtag never not here. Indeed, bring in the shit, bring in the quality, bring in the bakwas. If you don't know, bakwas means nonsense in Punjabi, and we do indeed bring a lot of that stuff. See you tomorrow. Skadoosh.